Hey, everybody. Today we're going to do, keep going, man. Keep underscoring. Yes, it's nice. We're going to do a masterclass about rhythm section essentials. And it was really fun to walk around yesterday and see so many of you jamming. And I have a few notes. It was fun just kind of watching the general interaction. I know that's not how you would always play with your band. But there's some general principles that we try to accomplish as a rhythm section. And also just some different general approaches on how we do things. So I want to talk about some of those today. I think we start, though, So I think sometimes when we're playing, all right, you can stop now. Cute. But you can stop. I think a lot of times when we go into a jam, we want to come in with some sort of intention. Let's give the Minneapolis feel. Let's go C minor. Then on cue, we go E flat minor. C minor. Bridge is just a 4-chord, riding it out. Okay. Minneapolis feel. Everybody find their parts. Kev, pull up the OB patch. Johannes, you drive it. I'll put the jelly bean on it. And I think the one thing that we can do to make it interesting, the wild card in it, we'll all find our place, but Nega, why don't you be the wild card?
Okay.
Interpret as you will. Sorry, you start us out. Cool. So in that, we kind of built on top of each other. And Johannes never cued, nobody ever cued when to go up to the E flat. It was just a musical cue. Like I heard he was walking up, and it was in the right part of the phrase. So there's a handful of things I want to talk about that are really important to consider when doing this sort of groove. One, where is the phrasing? A lot of times when I hear people jam, it's the sort of thing where it's just kind of this endless, oh, we're playing C minor, and every once in a while I'll get bored, so I'll just like kind of do something because I'm bored. And there's not a lot of musical value to the thing that gets added in the playing. And some of that has to do with just not really knowing what am I supposed to pay attention to, when is there supposed to be a thing to happen. And that's okay. I think a lot of times we're searching for a thing. So hopefully in this, I'll be able to give you a little bit of insight on what you could pay attention to focus your energy on. So for us, the number one thing is, where is the time feeling and where is the phrasing? You could argue what other number one things there are, but where is the phrasing is a really important thing. We're playing these 8-bar phrases, and we're kind of committing to something, and at the end of each phrase, that's kind of when our alerts go up a little bit. Is something going to change? Is something going to happen? Do I feel like we're going to do a dynamic shift? Do I feel like we're going to do a harmonic shift? Do I feel like we're going to go somewhere where somebody is going to now be the focal point and I can step back? Or is it the sort of thing where it feels like other people are going to step back and allow me to be the focal point? So the phrasing kind of helps determine a lot of those things. That's just the outline of the whole thing. Now within that, we have our time feel, we have our focus, we have our parts, we have all these different things. So the focus part of it, who is the one that's supposed to be looked at on stage? I think this is something that a lot of people in instrumental music are confused by, both on stage and as the listener, the person watching. Sometimes it's not very clear, what should I be paying attention to? And that's something in my band that I'm very, very diligent about, is at any moment in time, let's really make it obvious to the audience who they should be looking at. And in this setting, we're just kind of jamming, and it doesn't really need to be focused on anybody. It's just kind of, you can look around and find anything and lock into it, and that's cool. But I think in a show, it's important to kind of, in a lot of ways, feel like you're spoon-feeding the audience on what they should be focusing on. And if you're thinking about that, then you're automatically thinking about, what is my role in this? If I know that I'm not the one that needs to be focused on, well, I can really focus my efforts on playing a part that supports whoever is in the light at any time. So the focus thing is one thing. That's a mindset. Where should I fit in this whole thing? Is it my turn, or am I just kind of hanging and waiting my turn? And you know what? Sometimes I don't get my turn. Even as the band leader, a lot of songs I don't. So like our concert last night that we played, the first 2.5 songs, I didn't really do anything that was lead guitar. It's like Kevin took solos on the first song, Adam took the second song, I got the third one, fine, whatever. But I found comfort, and I found a lot of fun and value in my role in it. So the focus thing really is just about understanding your role. Now, the time feel of it, that is something that I guess ultimately you could argue it has to come from the drummer, but the macro of the time feel is going to come from the drummer, and then the rest of it gets negotiated between the band. Like the 2 and the 4, and well, I guess all the downbeats and the backbeats really get determined by the drummer, but everything else is kind of negotiated between us on where are we going to place the subdivision. Are we going to lean this forward? Are we going to pull it back? How much swing are we putting on things? If somebody is swinging 16ths, should I go along with them, or should I just stick to 8th note patterns and let their swing be the only thing that gives that sort of subdivision information? Because a lot of times the swings will conflict with each other in a way that is not desirable, unless the one example that everybody talks about is the meters, where some people play straight, some are kind of swung, and then it creates something that's really actually kind of cool in the groove. But for us, another thing that we're thinking about is, where are we placing the time? How are we placing our subdivision? Where is the grid? And in the Minneapolis funk feel, you have your metronome here. I think of it like bumper bowling. You could throw down the middle, and that's fine. Or you could play a little bit behind, where you're throwing to the left of the lane. You could still make it work. And you could throw on the right side of the lane. We are on the side of the lane that's right on the edge. The ball is, you think it's going to go in the gutter because we're leaning so far forward in the groove, but actually it's very metronomic. And in the way that we play, because we do that, it kind of has this freight train feel to it, where it feels like it's just coming right at you. And that's cool for a certain thing. For this style of music, that's great. Certain types of funk music, certain types of groove music, it should feel much more relaxed. It shouldn't feel like anything's coming at you. It should feel like much more of a breath, but this sort of thing should kind of feel like it's driving. So that's another thing that we're thinking about. And that is even before we get into what are we actually playing, right? So there's all these things that are mindset and thought things that we should be focusing on or have some level of attention to before we even grab our instrument. And some of that, hopefully, if you're not aware of that sort of thing, start going into everything you're playing with that sort of thing in mind, and then pick up your instrument. Because when you pick up your instrument after thinking about those things, all of a sudden, you have a lot more information to go off of. Now, all of a sudden, it's, okay, here's where we're placing this, here's the intention of this, and I'm going to listen to what's happening. So Pitar started playing a groove that is kind of, to me, the most iconic Minneapolis. I mean, why is that even? It's actually more of a Morris Day and the Time thing than a Prince thing.
Prince is Morris in the Time.
Well, yeah, but as far as the catalog is concerned, people would... kind of head or lady cab driver. Yeah.
And then you have cool, and you have,
Yeah. So it's a quintessential Minneapolis thing, and then Johannes is playing heavy downbeats, and then big slaps on the up, on the of 4. It's like, okay, that's kind of a Minneapolis thing. It's also, you play the 1 heavy, and there's not really a lot of, in the foundation, 1 gets hit hard. Same with the keys. Keep going. Because there's space in his 1, he can fill it now. And now he's also leaving enough space for us to have some information happening. So I added a little bit of subdivision information in the way of... Now Adam's kind of determining where the 16th note subdivision is. And now Nega can listen to that as the floater in this and decide where to fit some of those things. Little fills here and there. Everybody just adds tiny things here and there to make it a little bit interesting. So there's space for everybody. Even within this whole thing, we're listening to each other. I'm listening. Okay, Johannes is on the one. Kevin is handling all the beat one information, leaving 2, 3, 4 open, and I can fit into that. And now Adam's thinking to himself, the harmony is all taken care of. We know what chord is happening. We know that there's a root. There's nothing that's really sustaining. So to me, I would think the one role that hasn't been covered yet is something that's kind of floating over the top of it. Let's do the same thing. Kevin, add like a something sustaining on the organ. This is the one role that maybe he would bring in. If we're doing this over a song, it would maybe be, okay, the verse, we're just doing this groove, and maybe on the pre-chorus, you add this little thing to have this extra layer. Let's groove on that thing for 4 bars. Still to the organ, or the OB. Now, we just kind of fell into those parts. Now, Kev, let's you and I switch roles. I'll do the thing that you just did. You kind of do the whatever tone you think is appropriate. So it doesn't always have to be the same role. You can switch, or sometimes maybe verse 1, I'll do this thing and you do that, and verse 2 will switch. So that way, really it's all the same thing, but something about it is a little bit different to make it interesting arrangement-wise. And that word right there is something that a lot of rhythm section players don't always think about. And that for us is really what separates great rhythm sections from those that are good or just kind of playing a thing. Playing C minor. Instead, we're actually kind of arranging on the spot what's happening. And I think the more that we approach that sort of playing in anything that we do, the more something will start to feel like an actual thing rather than just playing over C minor for 7 minutes, which can be fun, and that's great. Well, I have a good time doing that sometimes, but I find that I feel better about my art and my music when I feel like I'm creating something that I can actually look at and identify rather than just playing or whatever. I don't know. Rather than just putting colors on a canvas, it's actually making something that I can look at and recognize. So you can also hear that as we started to play that and we switched, Pitar started to bring up the dynamic level. Adam started to play little fills here and there. And I had my part that lasted through the first part of the phrase, and then I laid out, and all of a sudden it felt like it tightened up, and then there was room for other things to happen. So just because you're coming up with a specific thing doesn't mean there's not room for doing a little something extra in there. But I think as long as everybody establishes what their role is and kind of how they fit into the groove with each other, then you can kind of explore it. And certain times people will try to find room in one thing, and then, oh, maybe that's not the right thing. Or Adam was filling up one spot, Pitar's taking the ends of the phrases. And as he's taking the ends of the phrases, if it's really rhythmic, Johannes can do something like, just something like that to change it, where it's not really rhythmic, but it is something different. So he's actually helping the role of a momentum builder, but he's not doing it in a way that conflicts with Pitar. So Pitar is doing the rhythmic stuff. Johannes is just doing kind of an energy shift thing to get us into the other phrase. And again, with arrangement, momentum shift. So when you're thinking through a song form, you're thinking verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, solo or bridge or whatever. There's form to it, right? When you're thinking about a song, and all of your favorite songs, they have some sort of dynamic arc to them. There's an arrangement and there's momentum at the ends of phrases that are either ramping up, ramping down, or they're just a stair step up, a stair step down. Sometimes it's shifting 2 gears at once. That's fine. But if you think about those sort of momentum shifts and kind of the dynamic arc of an arrangement, all of our favorite songs do that. So why wouldn't we do that when we jam? Why wouldn't we do that when we're playing with our friends, just kind of hanging out? And that can actually be one of the really fun things about jamming on the spot, is finding what the dynamic arc is in real time with each other. And that's where a lot of listening comes into play, where Pitar might play a fill that suggests to me, oh, I think he wants to bring it down. Guess what? He's committed to that, so now we kind of all have to buy into that in order for it to be great. It's not about ego. It's not about, oh, well, I wanted to do it. No, it's just like, oh, yeah, right now we're breaking it down, or it feels like we're about to break down. Sometimes it's the pacing of a fill. Sometimes it's the dynamic arc of a fill. Sometimes it's the band leader going, yo, let's break it down. Let's break it down. It can be very obvious. But what it does is it creates a storyline in the groove that makes it so it feels more like a song, like all of our favorite songs. It gives it something that's more pleasing to listen to, and it keeps things a little more exciting for us. Like I'm saying, you might not know what to focus on with your parts or whatever, but if you're paying attention to the path of the groove, it actually makes it a lot more interesting to play and listen to if you add some dynamics to it. That's one of the things that I noticed last night. Everybody's excited. It's first night. Felt like there was just a lot of, we're just going for it. We're in the groove. We're in the groove, in the groove. And of course, when there's a lot of people, it's hard to kind of dictate that. So maybe even at the beginning of when you're playing something, somebody could say, hey, let me lead the dynamic arc on this one. And then have somebody else say, okay, cool. Let's do these 2 sections. Okay, great. You come up with the sections, and I'll be the one to kind of conduct the dynamic arc. And you can all be in on it together. It's not about, oh, I'm the leader of this thing. When you're jamming like this, you're all in it together. So I would suggest and recommend for those of you that are hanging and jamming together, try to find ways to make it feel like it's a song. Don't make it feel like you're just playing over a chord and hanging out. Although that can be fun. It's nice to have that as an exercise. If you're just trying to learn how to feel subdivision together, that's great. But if you want it to feel like you're making music together, come in with the mindset of, we want to play a song. And these sort of things are really going to help with that. Now, the other thing about making it feel like a song and making something feel unique and iconic is, think of your rhythm section parts as hooks. Okay? Everything that you do, if everybody on the stage is playing something that feels like a hook, it will automatically sound like it's a song. It's an intentional thing rather than just playing a chord. Okay, I think we were doing an okay job on it here, but let's play that. Let's play that same exact groove. Everybody play the same parts, and then let's go through each part and see how we can make it a little more like a hook. Let's just play that same thing. Let's just do 8 bars, and then we'll stop. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's start with the drums. Great. Yeah, keep going. That feels good. That's
Just one thing to say. When you do the Minneapolis thing. Just for this style, it's known. It's the 808, not 808. It's the Linn drum. So a lot of Prince-based music and more in the time, they incorporated the Linn machine with real drums. So for the fact that a lot of these grooves are a rhythm machine. So when we do this stuff, in my head, I'm thinking that I'm a drum machine. And so the pattern is... So when Cory says hook, to me the hook is the hi-hat. I add a little 16-note thing at the end of every beat. So to make it feel like a little live thing, and then everyone is.
Let's add Johannes. Do a thing, maybe phrase. I like that. That feels like the second half. The do 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 do. Let's double your phrase length. Make that your second phrase with the boom. And then it'll feel like the second one develops. Let's try that. Feels like a thing. See, now Batar has already kind of pushed the momentum of the arrangement forward, adding the clap stack in. Same beat, but it's just kind of moving the dynamic from 5 to 5.4. Now my part, I was going. Which is fine, that does function, but it's not really as singable as I'd like, so maybe I'll go. Then if a wedding band is covering it, they can't just go. It's like, yeah, it's C minor, but no, that's not the tune. Adam. keep going. Now what I can do. See, after my solo, we built, and then break it down to something completely different. Let the groove sit. Now we're kind of changing the atmosphere of the whole thing to let Kevin have a moment. He's suggesting we're going to do something interesting harmonically here. So I'm going to lay off any extensions here. And I know I got nowhere to go. I'm just following Kevin. Because we're not doing anything to get in the way, Kevin knows he can take his time. Nobody's trying to get in my way. It's like, I can take my time. Somebody's gonna poke out. I don't know who. Oh, is it Johannes and Pitar? Okay. See, after each event, the event was the guitar solo. We broke it down, we changed the energy of the thing, and we created a new event with Kevin going big. Now we're changing it, going back. And now with the focus thing, feels like there's a little focus that should be going this way. So I can pay my musical and physical attention this way. And as I do that, they know, oh, you are creating the space for me to do this as well. So not only is it musical, it's also physical. I'm acknowledging them. And they can know, I'm not getting in the way. You guys do your thing. See where it goes. I have nothing to contribute right now. Adam's got this thing covered. I'm just going to hang out. Until it feels right for me to add something musical. I have no value to bring at the moment. Playing with the time a little bit. So Naga's over there like, hey, I'm gonna hold this thing down. I'm gonna hold this thing down. You guys get cute with the time. Or not the time, get cute with the accent. Listening to each other, finding each other's space. Finding a pattern of guitars who I'm kind of like. I can contribute. Signaled something was happening. I don't know. I'm going to change my thing, though. I just made the bold decision to, we're going somewhere else now. Back to the start where everybody's just trying to find their place in it. We're still kind of on the same thing, but we're on a totally different part of the journey of this now what could feel like a song, right? We've still just been playing C minor the whole time, but it's not going. Doing something together. I could even Kevin, make a melody. Let's make up ahead. After this phrase, now I'll give a prompt. Let's give it more of the tiki. Give it that tiki playlist. Kev, give it the patch, dude. Get that walking on the sun patch. Give me the walking on the sun. Johannes, give us a bridge. Give us some chord changes. Playing the melody now and then, playing a harmony on it. I'll say, I'm gonna put the skull on it, yeah. So we can go somewhere even completely different now. Now all of a sudden, the event is over. Okay, bold decision, but it just moves along. Now it's... Let's let Pitar and Nega set something up. groove. We were negotiating. Hey, what do we do? Johannes goes. He goes, let's play So What. All right, cool. Then inevitably at the jam, somebody's like, I gotta see if I remember the solo. And somebody remembers better. But see, he remembered more, so now he gets to go. When the solo is over, because it's actually a form. This is actually a song that's AABA. Now it relieves that pressure from us. We know when the phrase is in. has a little that Tycho vibe. Oh, okay, Kev. And now it's, uh-oh, what have we committed ourselves to? That sunrise set at summer camp. Break down, just synth, play some chords. So now it's on us to understand what he's doing. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's putting the Steve Aoki on it. How many rudiments you got? Oh, I know he's got more. I know he's not done. Some people would have been done. He's got more. We went to college together. I know he's got more. Oh, he's not done. flat major 7. D flat 7. A7. D minor major 7. You see, it's a whole path. A lot of things happening in there. All of it to do with the principles that we talked about. But there's a handful of other things that just kind of happened where we could have gotten ourselves backed into a corner. But fortunately, we have a lot of things that we could pull from, so we weren't backed in the corner. It was just, oh, we know what to do now. Adam started soloing. He's going, doing his thing. I think he's thinking to himself, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this melody over this handful of times, couple phrases, and then we'll get out of here. No, we're not having none of that. You better rip, dude. You better rip. So he's gotta have another gear, whether it be on his pedal board, whether it be his playing, a tone, a playing, an energy thing, whatever. He knows that he needs another gear. And Pitar is helping us get there, and I am helping. Every one of us is making these small adjustments to kind of shift into the next level. And then it keeps going, and just as it feels like, well, where are we gonna go from here? Okay, drummer has a handful of options, bass player has a handful of options, Kevin and I have a handful of options. We could all just start going nuts. Okay, but then that's why. Kevin and I can start changing some of the harmonic stuff underneath. We can start doing some different things. Johannes can reharmonize to all of a sudden recontextualize everything that's happening over the chord, underneath the chord changes, over the chord changes with the solo. Pitar can start going 4 on the snare. He can start playing a lot more. He can start interacting a lot more. Or another option is, let's go halftime huge. And as soon as beat 2 hit, I knew what he was doing. It's like, all right, boom. I go along with it. So when you're listening to each other and you're guiding each other along in the journey of the dynamic arc and in the arrangement of what we like to consider a song, but really at the end of the day, we're jamming, right? We had no idea what we were going to get into here. You've got to pay attention to those things and think about, what did we just do? Where are we now? And where are we going? How can I contribute to this? How can I bring value to this? And what does the moment need from me? And in the moment, guess what, Adam? We needed you to shred. And he did. Yeah.
Adam was like, yeah, I'm playing this melody, but like I looked at Cory and like, go Adam, like you wrote that figure, like now you're gonna have a choice, dude. You're not gonna move your
Yeah, you gotta go. And also, before that, we're jamming. Okay, drums and percussion. Just start playing. And Johannes goes, so what? All right, I know exactly what to do. And now all of a sudden, we're actually playing a song. And if I didn't know the song, fine, I'm gonna figure it out. And that's also a big part of sometimes showing up to a jam where you're the only one who doesn't know the tune. Okay, turn your ears on. I hope your training was enough. And if it wasn't, just ask, what key is it? No ego here. We're all students of the game. That's fine. We're all at different places in that. And it's like, hey, what is that third chord? Oh, really? B flat? No idea. Okay, cool. Don't take any offense to it. And it's okay. As long as you're playing something of value, something that adds and contributes to what's happening, is cool. You don't have to worry about if you didn't know something or if somebody you're playing with is asking you what something is. Don't get mad at them. It's just, okay, yeah, I didn't hear it. I mean, there's a lot of times I'm like, wait, what chord is that? Really? Oh, okay, cool. We were playing the song You Got to Be You for a long time, and an unknown bass player was hitting C sharp instead of, no, was it Pebbles? Oh, E, well, both songs. On Pebbles was going C sharp. It was an unknown keyboard player, sorry. That was unnamed keyboard player. that was playing the wrong chord into the bridge. And it's fine. Nice, yeah, see. But he makes up for it. And that's okay, even at our levels. We played the song a dozen times. And the fellow's like, yo, is there something going on here? Like, what are you playing? Like, wait, you're playing B? Yeah, I'm playing B. Oh, cool. All right. It's done. And then I get to tell 200 people about it afterwards. Speaking of throwing people under the bus, not knowing what to do in a jam, here's another thing. Let's try this. Here's a tough one. Sometimes you'll sit in with people that are a band, and you just got to figure out how to make it work. And you might be completely lost. You might not have any idea what to do. Actually, my favorite story of this is, I don't know what the entire accuracy of this whole story is, but Johnny Greenwood auditioning for Radiohead, he said that he listened to the tapes and there was just so much happening that he knew they were going to go into a small room and for his audition. So he literally had his keyboard all the way off and they were jamming and they were like, man, you sound great. Sometimes you just got to look the part. Sometimes you just got to be... Of course, he's a brilliant musician, but that is a good lesson. It's a good lesson. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What, you want me to tell him? Okay, after Prince died, so there's this club in Minneapolis called Bunkers, where we all cut our teeth playing funk music and R&B music. And Prince and his crew would all hang out there, and that's where we really learned how to play a lot of this stuff. And it's how we developed a catalog of hundreds of cover songs together as well. But after Prince died, all of the Prince alumni and all of our kind of community of musicians went to Bunkers. It was a Sunday and Monday night thing. And Jelly Bean Johnson, who's the drummer of Morris Day in the time, but also an incredible guitar player. It's late in the evening. Who knows what's going on before that? But he gets up on stage with a guitar, and they're jamming, and he's just up there like this. Unplugged. And he's looking over at Cody, the sound guy. He's like... just completely unplugged. Cat didn't have it. There wasn't even an amp up there for him. Just yelling at the sound guy. Yeah. But yeah, he owned the moment, so you got to give it to him. All right, we are going to throw Adam under the bus in a second, but somebody raised their hand over here. Yes. Yes. Oh, go to the head. Yeah. Yeah, the top or the head, depending on what it is. In the jazz context, people will do this to play the head. And then this, just keep going. Loop it.
What's for B section?
Oh, B section, I'll sometimes go like this, or bridge. Bridge, I'll do that. This is... Some people interpret this as, oh, you want me to keep soloing? They're not here today. They're at the house. What are some other good cues? Well, for...
You have the Miles and Keel over there. Just keep telling you, like, how much time you left.
Oh, yeah, my tour manager sometimes. 10 minutes. That's a secret one, though. We got kicked off stage at Bonnaroo. I was pissed. What are some other cute... Yeah. And... Yeah. Oh, yeah, and trip breakdown is like that. Or sometimes I'll just go like this. Or I'll just even do this, sort of like...
Yeah, pull it back.
And even just... like, let's drive it. You know, you can use just whatever natural body language feels appropriate. Certain hand signals. You know, if you're going to have to get on the bus later, you don't want to use certain hand signals to each other. I can't stand this for verse. Kidding me? I mean, I get it, but.
Yeah, question? What?
Yeah, peace. You got a question there?
Yeah, you were talking about the Minneapolis beat kind of pushing ahead.
Yeah.
And your drummers talk about that, like pushing or pulling. And as a guitarist, I feel like I understand it, but also I really, really don't.
Sure.
Like, how could you talk about how to feel and understand and practice that?
I think the number one thing is listening to music and identifying it. So whenever I think about practicing music, I really try to separate it as two things. One, the mental awareness, and two, the execution. So I have a very high mental awareness of time, and I have very high execution on the guitar. I'm comfortable saying that because I'm a professional guitar player. And it sounds, like sometimes feels, like I used to feel hesitant saying that or arrogant, but it's like, no, this is what I do. So I have very excellent mental awareness of time, and I have excellent execution of time on the guitar. But when I try to pick up the cello, the mental awareness is there, the execution is not. You've seen thousands of guitar players on the internet who have a lot of technical facility, but no mental awareness of time. Yeah, that one is very common in guitar players. It's also quite common in a lot of keyboard players that don't play with other instrumentalists. A lot of solo piano players, they feel time in their own way. Whatever, fine. But I try to separate those two. So the number one thing is listen to music that drives forward and recognize it. Listen to music that's very metronomic, recognize it. Listen to music that lays back and that sits back in a groove and recognize it. We'll play you a couple examples here, but classic examples of laying back. I mean, it's kind of like the Philly R&B thing, a lot of East Coast stuff. Most famously, D'Angelo, Voodoo. I heard a story that Lenny Kravitz was at the session. He was going to play guitar on the record, and he was just like, I can't play over this. Is not in time. How am I supposed to play over this? They're like, no, it's supposed to be laid back like this. And he just couldn't do it. And Charlie Hunter was also, he played on it. It's like, they moved my guitar back. There's no way I played. I played in time. Like, why would they have moved me back so far? But it was a musical choice. And Charlie was like, dude, my time is way better than that. Because in his mind, he was shooting at a bullseye. And the producer and the artist was shooting at triple 16s. And Charlie didn't know where on the dartboard to place the time. And he was trying to put it right down the middle. So I think, again, it's the intentionality. What are you shooting for? You know, you're going to shoot for different things at a different part of the game. So the D'Angelo thing, Voodoo, that's a great example of playing behind. Maybe we should make a playlist or something. Before the end of the week, we'll make a playlist on behind metronomic. Just listen to any electronic music. Lewis Cole is very in time, but he also kind of pushes. He kind of has a Minneapolis thing. It drives, but he's very in time. And as far as pushing forward, all of your favorite punk rock records just lean because that's the energy. That's what it needs. It needs to have this angst to it. And again, it's all about function. It's not about is something better or worse. It's about how does this function? How is this supposed to feel? Should I feel relaxed and chill, sitting in the backyard while I'm listening to this? Or should I feel like I'm on my bike going through Midtown fighting for my life? You know, I'm out here, you know.
Just to help explain this even more, there's the sense of time in terms of a person playing by themselves metronomically. But as a group, that's where the pull and push happens. Basically, if you would think of it as a maybe synchronized dancing or walking together, it's a group of us being, a couple of us is going to be slightly ahead while you two stay, in the same line. So a lot of times it's where the click or the drum is that usually is center. And either the bass player would walk slightly behind the drums, or the guitar player would be behind, or the keyboard player. Somebody would be slightly ahead of that universally understood timeline. And that's kind of where this, playing in the back or playing forward. Because if everybody played forward, it's going to be speeding up. So there should be a time reference that everybody is aware of.
It's also something that's kind of in vogue right now, playing behind and doing the kind of swung and strayed thing. College, fun. Some of it doesn't feel as timeless to me, but a lot of it, like, there's a handful of people that do it very convincingly to me. We have this discussion in my band a lot. I prefer things in time, but to have a little bit of push-pull. But like Johannes is saying, if everybody's pushing forward, then we're just rushing. If everybody's pulling back, we're just dragging. What are we doing here? We're not playing in time. It's not cool. Like, it's like, oh, we're doing that cool behind the beat thing. It's like, no, you're dragging. So let's give it. Pitar and I will play in time, and Johannes and Kevin will pull back. This is our last example. We got to take a break for lunch, but let's do. What's that? In my band, everything that's mid-tempo to slower, we lay back. Everything that's faster leans forward. That's just a complete general principle for us. But it's not always tempo dependent. In general, yes. To just give a quick answer, but whatever the music calls for, it's kind of what it is. Let's play. Oh, yeah. A minor. 2, 3, 4. So Pitar and I are anchoring it. Kevin's getting cute. Testing the limits. That's about where I check out. That's too much for me. But we all have our preference, you know. Some people love that. I'm like, that's enough. That amount's fine. Pulling a little more. But there always needs to be something that's kind of anchoring it for it to me, again, my opinion. Something like that to make it still feel like there's something moving along. And, you know, we all have our own preferences for what we like in that. Or it's like, oh, I like it up until that point, and then I don't like that. I don't like the way that feels. And it's fine. Some people do it, and it sounds amazing, but when I'm playing it, sometimes it's not my preference. That's okay. I also, you know, never mind. I'm not going to talk about guitars. You know, I'm not a Les Paul guy, so.
It's also an attitude of playing outwards, forward, or playing kind of almost like speaking with your mouth almost closed. So you're not really playing out so much like. The way you're hitting the notes is not so much pronounced forward, and it's a little bit kind of subdued, and you're saying, kind of putting a hoodie on. You know, you don't want to be all out.
Well, we will talk about more of this stuff at the jams tonight if people are open to it. We're going to be obviously here all week. But it's very fun to play for you, very fun to talk through this. Hopefully you learned something through this and take some of these principles and apply them to your jams today and tonight. It's time for lunch. Go eat. Thanks, everybody.